Alright, we're back live.
Right,
Hello and welcome.
rolling in.
Rolling in. So, now we've got Legend of Zelda Minish Cap by TheSabin. And on commentary to help him, we have Keishura.
So yeah, this is Minish Cap 80% glitchless. So we're not gonna use any glitches like Ocarina of Time and stuff that skips like out of bound and stuff like that. Um, so what I'm gonna do at the start of the run, we're okay, right, Void? We're ready to, good to go. Assume you are. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna soft reset here, and I'm gonna mash, and it's gonna manipulate 5 rupee at the start of the game. So if I get it, I'm gonna get it from the pot. So here we go.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
So this is the Minish Cap. I'm actually not memeing. It's actually the title. Like if you look on the box, it's the Minish Cap. And yeah, this is like I consider this game like to be the last the Zelda game because it's the other games were like 2.5D on the DS, like the last sprite-based Zelda game that Nintendo got out, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Pretty good game as well, like lots of reference from the older Zelda games, like Ocarina of Time and all the previous games.
Yeah, it feels like the art style is based off of the Wind Waker-esque style as well. So if you like that, it's pretty cool to see that in sprite form.
Yeah, even the artworks, like if you look up the artworks for the game, it's very Wind Waker-ish. So in this game, Zelda is like kind of like our friend, and we're basically a son of a blacksmith. Gonna do a particular movement here to manipulate that 5 rupee I talk about. Let's walk here, and I'm gonna roll twice in this hallway here.
Yeah, those 5 rupees are pretty important as well.
Yeah, it skips like getting a 20 rupees in the first dungeon. Saves a bunch of time because it's like takes a long time to get there.
Yes, it does. I would say it saves at least a whole minute or so.
Let's see if I get it. Hey, we got a 5 rupee.
Woo.
This is the only manipulation I'm doing for this. Like there's another manipulation you can do where you can manipulate 2 more 5 rupees. Which keeps getting into a cave that has fairies and 5 rupees in there. But
Yeah. We'll need that money to buy some item later on that we'll mention.
Yeah.
Here we go talk to Zelda, who is just running away from us. She invited us out to see this fair we were gonna sleep in, and now she's just running around and not even hanging out with us.
Yeah. And then we have like Zelda is winning a prize here, and like
This cute heart, this big jewel, or this dinky little shield.
yeah, and she's picking up the shield for us. Not even picking up the shiny heart or shiny money.
It's okay, the shield comes in handy, like right about now. We're gonna come up here and there's a Deku scrub, business scrub, and he's gonna shoot his nuts at us.
Yeah. And in this game, there's a lot of rolling, so if you want to roll deep, that's definitely the game to pick up. Like, rolling is the main movement in this game.
There's even a science to rolling deep.
Yeah.
As long as as long as you believe that what you're doing rolls deep, then you're rolling deep.
All right. Fair
Fair
enough.
enough.
So we have this guy, Vadi. Obviously the bad guy here. I don't know. I forgot exactly what's his purpose on this cutscene. Like I forgot the story a long time ago. Like, and
Basically, and I think that he's misguided in thinking so, but basically he thinks that inside of this box there is the Light Force, aka the Triforce, and he opens it up here in a moment, only to find that there are a bunch of monsters inside and nothing he wants really.
and by breaking that chest, he basically unleashed the enemies in the world.
And clearly the Light Force is within Zelda, but he doesn't notice this until the end of the game, but whatever.
And Link tried to block that attack, but
With
it's
his
not a mirror
dinky
shield. It's not a mirror shield or a magic shield, I guess. Doesn't work.
I can't even remember if there is a mirror shield in this.
I believe there is, yes. I think it's like blue and I believe there is, yeah. It's been a while since I've 100% this game.
And shoutouts to that maid always getting in the way. When you wake up in the bed, you can roll left and then roll down and go out the door, but most of the time that NPC just walks in.
Yeah.
So you get half of that sword, and they send you with the smith's sword to go fix the Minish sword, because apparently you need to go find these things that they call the Minish, and only kids can see them and adults can't.
And we need to repair that sword because like it's basically a magic sword. It's called the Four Swords in its final form. Um, it has magic
The
power.
white
There's
sword.
yeah. I don't think there's a master sword in this game, right? No, I don't.
No, it's just called the white sword. Like, I guess they probably think they need it to seal up all the monsters again.
Yeah. One cool mechanic about this game is you can see I can roll through enemies. Like once you roll, you have like you're like immune to damage um, for a short amount of time. So we use that to bypass some enemies instead of killing them. That it's useful against like fireballs and stuff like that as well later in the game.
There are some things you can try and roll through and still take damage, but if it's an enemy, most of the time you can just roll through it. Like, what?
Yeah. And rolling is very important in this game. Like I don't claim to be good at all, but like if you watch top runners, like all the rolls are calculated, like on every screen on the game. Because if you roll, basically if you roll too deep, you're gonna have to walk back, and
Yeah.
so you need to make sure to not roll too deep, but
Roll deep. This is Eslo. He talks a lot. Later on, Sabin's gonna mention stuff about cutscenes and not rolling into them,
yeah.
'cause that's also rolling. But yeah, Eslo is probably a less annoying form of Navi. Because when he's got something to say, he actually just stops you and says it instead of yelling at you constantly.
Yeah, there's a lot of instances where it basically stops you all your strat, and like if for example if you're just sort of out and you're preparing to do a strat and he talks to you, that's basically like it cancels the sort of out and sort of charge. So
There is one instance where we want to do that on purpose, and I think there's only one.
you can actually, like if you roll perfectly in that section, you can actually make it to the first leaf, but that's like almost, well, I think it's frame perfect. Like you need to roll frame perfectly from the
Is there,
tree
like,
to
tasks for that stuff or what?
yeah, it's something like that. I know it's possible, but it can be done.
So, when Link rolls up in here, he can't understand the damn thing these things are. Ezlo's basically like, yeah, go find someone who can understand you. Thanks, Ezlo.
Fine, this guy you actually speaks our language. Somehow. So he tells us to grab an item that's allowing us to talk and understand the Minish.
Yeah. For the record, it's called the Jabbernut. Yeah, so we get the Jabbernut. Apparently it allows us to understand all beings? I don't know. Anyway, so Link's now fluent in every language in the world.
Yeah, video games, logics. I don't know. Somehow it works, but... So now we understand Minish, so we're gonna go talk to the elder here.
He's like, wow, that sword's broken. That sucks. Go find these elements.
He's gonna mark where all they are in the map, and one of them is actually like the next, like right up here. So, there. What's interesting about this dungeon is all the enemies are like, there's like two types of enemies, I would say, like when you're big Link and you're Minish Link. So in this dungeon it's all like small stuff that you wouldn't see like if you're big, like parasites and slugs and stuff like that.
There are like dragonfly bugs that are super annoying.
Uh, so here I'm counting the sweats, Link's popping out of his head to time the release and make it the other way. And there I roll into, like there's a trigger like well Ezlo talks to you and I roll into it and it delays like I would say maybe a half a second.
Yeah, it's a pretty long delay.
Yeah. Instead of just activating right away.
Yeah, so when you're like Minish Link, you see like things like this where like you're rolling a barrel around.
Yeah, the puzzle here. Kinda like a mode 7 kind of thing. Sweat here. And there's I don't know, a wasp, I would say.
Yeah, or like a dragonfly or some weird wasp dragonfly, because yeah, those two didn't need to be combined, but they were. Yeah, there are a lot of Ezlo cutscenes in this dungeon. It's just like the first dungeon. So Ezlo's like, hey, did you know that you can push things and pull them too? You're like, oh, okay, thanks.
Yeah, there's a lot of like mini tutorials. This dungeon, understandably, because it's like developers wanted to know that how the game works.
I think we go into 5 dungeons in this speedrun, so...
Yeah, that seems correct. We count the one from the sanctuary, kind of short.
Yeah. This room coming up is really cool to see done right. If all the enemies decide to line up and like not be like in a line, or rather not line up, whatever.
Yeah,
exactly.
I tried to do it, but like, you can basically roll into them if they're lined up correctly, and you don't actually need to kill them.
If they get in the cluster, you're good. If they line up.
Oh, I'm gonna get the 1 rupee cutscene.
Rip.
Rip.
For every new item you pick up, you get a cutscene, and well, we don't want to see that as much as possible. So we saw the one when we picked up the 5 rupees. We're gonna see one for the 20 rupees. Eventually, we're gonna see one for a heart. But if we can avoid 1 rupees and some other things, there's some stupid seashells, or whatever the heck. Yeah, we want to avoid those.
Yeah.
This boss coming up is really cool. You can 2-cycle it and like normally takes like 3 or 4 if you're playing casually. It's pretty cool. You just mash the shit.
Yeah, I'm playing on console, so mashing is not a problem. But I think on the emulator, you can do that.
As far as I can tell, no. But maybe I just suck at mashing.
At least human mashing. Maybe there's like a turbo option on the emulator you can do. But...
Yeah, on console you can mash very, very fast, and Link goes very, very fast. So I mentioned that there's like one point where we're going to enter an slow cutscene with an item out, and this is it. We're gonna pull this forward, and then Enzo's like, "Yo, you can use that gust jar," and you're like, "I know, I just did."
Yeah, I've played this game before as well. Oh.
At this point,
control.
because he's speaking Japanese, we just assume that. Oh man, we just assume that he's like, "Yeah, you're really good at this game," and you're like, "Thanks."
Oh,
Yeah, these
getting
guys are
trolled.
Really trolling.
I tried to react, but.
In a really optimized run, TheSabin would be doing the exact amount of like gusts he needs to get to the bottom. Like where you screen transition in on one screen, you screen transition in onto the other screen. So you want to be closer to the side you need to be on.
The thing is, it's really hard to. This item control's weird. Like it has a lot of delay. Like if you cast it once, it feels weird. It's not like an instant cast or. And if you queue another cast, it's weird. It's weird to control, but yeah, if
It's
I
really
would be,
weird to control.
you can actually count how much gust you can do each part. That one went well.
Yeah, in addition to like blowing stuff away or sucking it to you, you can suck up these mushrooms.
Yep. So I'm positioning myself in a certain way so I don't hit the water. Yeah, I need to be far enough. Make it to the other side. And
We've been in this dungeon for 6 minutes. It's time to leave.
And if I didn't do the rupee manipulation at the start, like the 5 rupee I got from the pot, I would actually get this one chest right here that contains a 20 rupee. But since we did the manipulation, we don't need that, so we skipped going there, which actually saves a lot. Because you have to suck the web and down and go back up.
Yeah.
Side.
So you see this choo-choo is just like falling into this temple. And this is an enemy that Link can usually, when he's big, kill with like 1 or 2 hits of his sword. Definitely 1 later on in the game once we power up the sword. But Minish Link needs to like make it fall down so he can hit the head.
Yeah, we need to use creative ways to defeat him. So I saw that he went right first. So I'm positioning myself on the right because he's gonna go back and forth. But he only does like that once, so I'm looking at where he's gonna go. Like he went right there, so I'm positioning myself right so he can fall faster around.
And bosses in this game usually have like a cycle for the first 2, and then like the first 2 cycles, like they have like a pattern. Sorry, it's whatever words I want to say. And then I think this boss always jumps 5 times.
Yeah.
And then the next ones are completely random. But yeah, most bosses have like a pattern for the first 2 cycles, and then the last one's like pretty much random.
At the end of the fight, like when I kill the boss, like I have a certain amount of movement I can do, a certain amount of time I can still move, so I go position myself in the center so I can walk less, going into the treasure here.
Yeah, I think for the next element, we don't really have that. leeway, but for the water element, it just really depends on where you kill the stupid.
Yeah, Yokta Rock.
There's some really cool bosses in here that are all really annoying. So we go back up to this elder, and he's like, "Good job. I'm gonna open this curtain so you can leave."
And yep, we're gonna grab actually the bombs. For some reason, we can like we talk to someone and we get the bomb right away instead of like on the other Zeldas. Actually have to do a dungeon or
Just some random Minish guy who's like, "Here, have some bombs." And you're like, thanks.
there we go. 3 bombs, I guess.
The weird thing about bombs is I think earlier while I was playing, someone said that it's like faster by 16 frames if you throw the bomb. So a lot of the speedrun, when there's something you need to bomb, it is planned out so that you will put the bomb down, pick it up, and either throw it or walk into it like TheSabin did just now, so that you save time.
Yeah, there's like I forgot what it's called. It's called a technique like you roll and drop it. It activates faster, but I don't do it on mine. It's very minimal time save you can do.
Speaking of techniques, TheSabin is going to do this really sick cutscene skip. So there are these things called kinstones. I think the whole deal is that the Minish like made them so they could make human. And then TheSabin just saves and quits and skips the cutscene.
Yeah, and I think you cannot do that. Like if you will do 100% of this, I think you cannot get that Kinstone's fusion anymore because you save and quit out of it. The game never thought you would. So I think it's like you cannot 100% anymore after this.
In English, this guy is called Swiftblade. He teaches how to do a very important what is it called? Circle slash? Can't remember.
Spin attack.
Spin attack. Whatever, dude. I know Zelda.
And because we learned the technique, we have to show off the guard here. Alright, we can do the spin attack here, and he's letting us pass. Guess we are worthy of being a high roll knight or something. I don't know.
So here we're gonna buy a bottle. This is part of the gold we need. Gold, rubies, whatever it is. This is part of the money we need to get through here, and then next TheSabin is gonna pick up some rubies in the next zone to buy a ring that's going to help us climb. Like, I don't know how a ring helps us climb, but who cares?
Yeah, that's weird. A lot of stuff that doesn't make sense in this game, but it's a video game.
Yeah, video games, man. Who likes video games?
And I'm grabbing here, like, this is a nice cave, like, it gives me money, and it gives me health. It helps a little part of the game, because this actually, like, area is kinda, like, dangerous, because, like, you have to climb a certain wall at some point, and the boulders are RNG based, so you can take a lot of damage.
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically, if you ever didn't like Death Mountain because of falling rocks, then don't play this game.
Alright, so now we are Minish, so we're gonna grab actually the red water, not red, green water
Red
here.
water.
Yeah,
I think it's
the blood.
mineral. The blood of the Minish.
Yeah. And we actually have to keep it for a bit here because we're gonna need it, so we don't want to use it by mistake.
There's like 20 rupees here that you're supposed to climb a vine for, but that shit, we're gonna pick it up with our sword.
Yeah. Guess they didn't think about the sword grabbing in this game. This is one of the the cool thing about most of Zelda games, like you can grab stuff by slashing your sword to it. Like I'm looking, Link to the Past doesn't work like that, fortunately, but like a lot of 2D Zelda games, you can slash your sword and grab rupees, bombs on the floor.
I think you barely missed rolling into that, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was 1 frame something.
It's really hard to remember all of the places that Ezlo's like, hey, listen.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of like random objects that are portals to become like Minish size, and the first time we use any of them, they all have like a little cutscene, and the rest of the time you can just kind of mash through it. But a lot of them are hidden in really kind of clever places. In town, we'll see that a lot of like vases or pots are Minish port.
So we're grabbing this seed here and putting it in the hole, and we're gonna use the water, the green water that we picked up earlier.
Excuse me, Sabin, we put the nut in the hole.
Alright. The nut, yeah. Can climb that wall from that. And here's a little nice oversight here that we can do. Like we can actually skip the whole section. Usually you bomb the wall here and there's like a section you have to do, make it up there. But if you like use the jar on the bridge, you can actually I don't know if it's a clip, but
yeah, I don't know, it's weird. It's like a strange clip, like you suck up the mushroom and it like propels you up onto the thing. I don't know if that's an oversight or if they like were like, well, yeah, if you're clever enough to think of that. So this is the Deku business scrub who sells us like a ring, and like we can climb now. I don't know. It doesn't make sense, but you know, you gotta have item progression. So
yeah, for some reason using that item, we can now climb the walls. I have enough health, so it should be fine. So there's a cave there that you can bomb and actually grab fairies.
it's not this cave up here, as I learned earlier today.
No, it was the cave down of this wall. And I got hit there once, but there's nothing I can do really, like it's all RNG. Just have to eat it. One. Fortunately, you don't lose time, you just lose health. That's it.
Yeah, I was about to say, fortunately, that doesn't like knock you back off the mountain, because that would really suck.
I'm not trusting. I wasn't trusting that guy.
Yeah, the Tektites moves. What the heck are those things called? Those P-hats, I think. Anyway, yeah, those enemies are annoying.
I think they're from like Ocarina of Time. Like if you go on the Hyrule field, like they spawn.
Yeah.
I think it's the same enemy, but like smaller.
And here Ezreal's like, yo, watch out for raindrops. And you're like, oh crap.
And
this is literally the only place it's raining.
Yeah, and it's the only place you can take damage from the rain as well. And this part is just pushing boulders over and over.
So Sabin, why did you want to learn Minish Cap? Just out of curiosity, while we're pushing.
Well, I've been on the quest to learn most of the 2 Zelda games. Like I learned Zelda 1, 2, or LEDX, and I learned this game as well.
What are the Oracle games, man?
I don't have a lot of nostalgia for the Oracle games though, unfortunately. I played Season. I didn't play Age though. That's like one of the few Zelda games I never played. Oracle of Ages.
Literally, this whole part is just like puzzling a bunch of boulders and blocks of tiles or whatever the heck these.
Yeah, this part is not for like exciting because it's just boulders and stuff like that. So I'm gonna use the jar here, but I'm gonna be a little far back because I can actually like stuck this guy.
Yeah,
And I
if
can,
that guy's standing in the wrong spot.
yeah, it's gonna cancel the mushroom. So I just realized my menu is so off. But that's fine. I'm gonna pick up a 20 rupees there.
Those 20 rupees are always there, so if you're playing the game and need 20 rupees, there they are.
For boulders.
Yeah, even this next dungeon is about putting nuts in holes.
And riding carts.
At least the minecarts of this game are amusing
Yeah.
and fast. If you've ever played the Oracle games, you know that the minecarts are really slow. Like, they're awful.
It's funny actually, it's like the same developers, like the Oracle games and this game are like, they're both made by Capcom.
Yep.
So they probably like people were complaining about the Oracle games, like your carts are super slow, like terrible, and they were like, in this game they basically put the cart like in maximum speed. Yeah, you'll see very soon.
To be fair, though, Sabin, think about doing the Siege Shooter game in Oracles with this cart speed. Yeah, that's what I thought. But yeah, there's only the minecarts in this section as well. So it's like this game is like it's very like sectioned off and like it's very I don't know, it feels clean. It's a very easy game
Yeah,
for play, period.
Yeah.
So we go into this volcano.
Grab these health. Sure.
At the beginning of like every dungeon, there is health.
That didn't work.
Yeah, if you throw that right. Like, the bombs are really weird. Like, they look like they should work, but then they're too far away. And
Yeah. The hitbox is really weird on the bombs on this game.
You have to kill those to go through the door, but trust me, there's nothing worth your while in the chest.
I think that's a compass or something.
Yeah, and also all rupees laying on the floor in this game are traps.
Yeah, there's like a like if you pick up the rupee, there's a like spawning, and it's gonna basically draw your money based on
always...
the colors that we have. So here's the card, like super speed.
Link's like screaming. Afterward, Eslo is like, "Holy crap, dude! Let's not get on one of those ever again. I hate roller coasters. What are you grinning about, you smug little puck?"
Yeah. Gonna suck him. There we go.
I think these are like supposed to be like iron masks on these weird like bird things.
I think they're like the equivalent of the not armors, but the like you know the little green thingies in the LTTP on the bridge. I forgot what it's called. Mini
The
Mordor.
Almasaurs.
Elmasaurs. Thank you, Void.
Yes.
Ah.
I think it's like the same kind of enemy.
They give a Helmasaur vibe, yeah, I agree.
So in this game, the Minish movement is actually kind of weird. Like it's faster to move diagonally compared to like up and left in Minish. So you will see me like use diagonal more as a Minish instead of just rolling.
I'm pretty sure the swim speed as a Minish is faster than Link's normal swim speed, but we don't swim as a Minish like ever.
Yeah, I think that's the case. I know Minish swimming is very fast.
So Sabin's gonna drop this roly-poly and grab a bunch of rupees.
And we need that money for the mushroom later on to wake up the guy who has the Pegasus boot. It's like the only After that, we don't need him on money anymore for the rest of the game. Like 2
Yeah.
instances. Actually 3, like the bottle, the bracelets to climb, and the mushroom.
Yeah.
I kind of want
TheSabin
these
was-
bombs. Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
TheSabin was mentioning yesterday that it feels bad to forget to pick up that key and then come to the store and be like, oh,
Yeah, because if you miss that chest, you have to basically do all the things over again. Like you have to do every room and go back to there.
yeah. So we're about to pick up one of the coolest items I think in this game and in most games.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna
most
fail it.
Zelda's games rather. Oh yeah, well this fight it's not even like a boss fight, it's like a mini boss fight. There's something you can do to make this really fast, and yeah, I don't know what it is, but these guys suck.
It's like they basically jump on you and you spin attack and you kill all of them in one shot. But I've always been bad at that strat. So
Yeah, so we got the cane of Paki, and it flips stuff upside down.
and whoops,
Also, yeah,
wrong
it also
direction.
also propels us up through holes, or not holes, out of holes. What?
Jump, like it's basically a high jump, kinda. Or key collection. Back in the garden.
Yeah, I think the cane of Paki is one of the items that we use several times throughout the run.
Yeah, it's one of the most useful items, but it's kind of like a shame that it's like the only game where it got it got introduced in this game, but I don't think there was another Zelda that had the this cane or have an equivalent.
Yeah.
Maybe Twilight Princess, but I forgot.
I feel like it's either gotta be like 2D or something, you know, to make it feel like it's worth. Well, this is an instance of enemies that you can't roll through, but we still roll to kind of buffer the knockback.
In this room, it's basically like RNG because they can be like close to the line of holes there, but and if they're like I would assume like the task manipulate this room so you can just basically slash them and drop them in
Yeah.
there and forward.
As you can see too, pulling a switch is so much slower than pushing it, so we always want to push stuff rather than pull it if necessary.
These flames sometimes, whoops, reset this room, and sometimes the flames drops a health. There we go. That's good. It's kind of nifty.
Yeah, there's a cool movement. It's like a one cycle movement thing up here, but it's like especially if you're on PB pace, like it's pretty dangerous. So, of course, if you're on PB pace this early in the game,
Yeah,
isn't necessarily really mad.
doesn't matter until Octorok anyway.
Yeah, so you can go up the corner and walk onto this last block as it's moving up, but it's a little dangerous. You can definitely fall in if you're not moving right.
I tried like a couple of times and I failed most of the time so I
To
went.
be fair, I think I did that casually, so...
Ah,
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, hey, I wonder if I can roll a can. That's cool. Sorry.
Are
So
you-
I like to go for it.
So this room is like, it's kind of like on a global timer. because there's like a platform I need to reach, but it goes up and down. So maybe the task or someone that's actually like world record material is different route than what I'm doing. But what I like, there's a couple of tornadoes I can skip, but it doesn't really matter because at the end the platform is still gonna be like where I want. Like this platform on the left here.
Yeah, I feel like this is such a weird place for the boss key, but whatever.
Yeah, right at the end.
So this boss is like some weird like lava dragon. Looks very much like a place you would fight Dodongo, but then a lava dragon comes out. Basically what we're gonna do is you're gonna see TheSabin use the Cane of Paki to flip that rock upside down on his head and go in and mash like a bop.
One cool thing about this room is if you look at the carving on the rock here, you can see like the boss here. Like you can see, this is this head, this is his body. It's like everywhere as well. Like you can see like the head here, head down here as well. Like there's a head here.
Alright, today I learned you can just slash the flames as they're coming at you. Alright.
Yeah.
I always avoided those. Turns out I didn't need to. This is why I turned to the set.
No real danger to die in this fight. Like the flames, you can just farm them for health.
I feel like in most cases in this game, they are very, very kind to you with help.
Yep.
Nice.
You can recycle if basically this boss is just recycled if you do enough damage on this back.
Which all comes down to boss mashing.
Yeah. You can actually like slash once, poke, slash poke, slash poke. I think that's doing the same amount of damage, and it's
Not really.
yeah. If you're not comfortable about mashing, well, like I mash because I can, but it's really not wired. And we got the second element. So we can got a second element, but we're gonna get the sword here, and we actually gonna go fuse the element, the sword, by heading back to Hyrule Castle. There's like a very short amount of time where you will see like the white sword, the green sword.
Yeah, the white sword has like a green handle. It's like some weird gravestone thing. TheSabin's gonna ignore all of them except for one. And they're basically teleport points for the ocarina. Which,
Yeah.
as I learned today, is the Super Mario Bros. 3 melody, so look forward to that.
Yeah, the flutes. There's another game, Zelda game, that uses the same melody. I forgot which one. Might
Zelda
be...
1, maybe?
Yes.
The flutes from SMB3 are actually a throwback to Zelda 1 and not the other way around.
Oh, that's cool.
So we're gonna activate here the only tablet here, which is like a checkpoint for the flute later. We can go back to that spot with the ocarina.
Yeah, and there's already one that's open that we're going to be also accessing, but those are the only two we need in the whole runs.
And going back to Hyrule Castle, we need to, I think it's called a Sanctuary.
Yeah.
And we're gonna drop the sword and the two elements that we got from the last two dungeons. We're gonna actually buff our sword
It actually does more damage too. It's pretty awesome.
And it gives us also an ability to basically do clones of ourselves on these tiles, which is useful for a couple of not puzzle but rooms where we can advance and go further in the story. And I think we see the purple sword like 1 second here. That's the only time you'll see that. It's gone.
Yeah, I feel like they designed all of that. They were like, okay, yeah, each element's gonna have its own sword. Crap, we're sending them in with 2 elements. Oh! It does appear later in the ending, I think. I mean, who looks at it?
Maybe the artwork, yeah.
Yeah, it's in like the stained glass artwork or whatever. So yeah, here we learn we can make like images of ourselves. So we're gonna need that too. As you can see, basically press some buttons and stuff throughout the rest of the run.
And one of the properties about the clones is you cannot take a damage and you cannot hit a wall or a collision. Like if one of your clone hits go through a wall, all of them disappears and take damage as well. It's like one of those things where you have to clean the room and do your thing.
Yeah, for everybody who got about this far and then was like, wait, what do I do next? You're gonna love this next basically progression trigger after this.
Yeah, this part is very confusing on casual. I remember that as a kid.
Yeah. Also, these guys are really annoying to fight. Not as annoying as the Dark Nuts, but
Yeah, the Dark Nuts are the final boss of this game.
basically. Basically, so here we learn about what the heck's going on. Eslo used to be some old sorcerer Minish guy and made some super powerful cap that granted wishes. His apprentice Vadi stole it and turned him into a cap.
Yeah, for some reason I don't know why he created that cap. I don't know what it does. Like on.
It grants wishes.
Yeah, that's at the end. Yeah, Zelda. Well, spoilers alert, but yeah, Zelda wears it and yeah.
Yeah. Basically, he's just like, yeah, I'm sorry I created this hat that grants wishes and it's all my fault. Sorry.
So now we need, like, this is where the game gets confusing for casual. Like, you don't know what to do really. Like, we know where we can go there. Like, we unlock the capability of creating clones.
Right. So like basically, if like you got like through all of this part, you were like, okay, and you literally, because there's not too much you can explore at this point. You don't have too many items. So you're literally like, okay, well, where can I go with what I have?
Yeah, there's like an area on the left that called the swamp that you cannot like enter, but it's like I don't know if Eslo, probably the Eslo gives you a hint on what you need to do to basically make it.
I think in the worst case scenario, if you go back and talk to your dad or your grandpa or whatever, he'll tell you. Also, Vadi, I think he either takes over the king or like shape shifts into him or something, and then orders everybody to beat up Link. They don't really do that, but they do kick you out of the castle if you try and go inside and look for the light force.
Yeah. Because the king was like, "Oh, I looked for the light force," and all the guards were like, "That's why they got confused there."
So
that was like unexpected.
Yeah, so that sign Sabin just read, that's your
story trigger.
Yeah, it's a really dumb story trigger to be honest, but oh well.
Yeah, talking to that sign here triggers that I'm not saying main quest, but it's like a quest that you actually have to do to get the biggest. Like there's like 3 triggers you need to do to activate that cutscene. It's like 1, talk to the sign, 2, enter the area where this is like the swamp. Like if I would go up, still there's like an area you can go there. and that activates it. And there's like another trigger as well. Like if you trigger Eslo talking to you about the swamp inside the room, inside the swamp basically, it triggers that as well. But it's like you're already there, so that's
So this guy's name is Rem. Shoutouts to Rem Sleep. He makes the boots and mentions too that like he makes shoes in his sleep, but he actually is not making shoes. The Minish are, but they do need him to finish the shoes, or you know they don't work right.
and since he's in deep sleep, we need an item to be able to pick him up. Um, what we need to do, we need to actually cross this section.
Yeah.
And
Sabin's just gonna break into someone's house and get their key.
And it's gonna open up a section on the left, which allow me to go into basically the mushroom is like located at the witch's hut. Like there's like a witch that sells magic. That's on the left. But we don't have access to it right now, so we're doing these to gain access to it.
Yeah, so you see Talon and Malon, and shoutouts to Malon's music. It's in here too.
Yeah.
But like he lost the key, and she's like, Dad." Anyway, so if you go back to town, she's in town telling.
Section you do here, and you basically all this section is just to pick up that tornado to cross this little lake there, which is gonna give us access to what we want. Basically this is the Minish forest that we went earlier, but this is like the north, or like there's a section on the north. That's where we are right now.
And yeah, she sells potions and this handy dandy mushroom.
That was weird. I got confused by Ezlo talking to me. Drop 2 bombs there. So yeah, it costs like 60 rupees, so from there we don't need to buy anything anymore from the rest of the game. Good to go on money. So now we have the mushroom, so we just need to go back to and wake up our buddy to give us the boots.
Yeah, turns out we wake him up at a good time, so he gives us the boots for free.
Yeah,
He's like, yeah, I think he says
nice.
something about, yeah, I think he says something about like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to finish an order for the princess, or something like that.
Basically giving us the boots for free, which is it's not gonna be, well, I don't know if it's gonna be the main source of movement further on, but it's from sections like where there's like long hallways. It's gonna be our main speed movement. Like this section right here, it's nice.
Also, it's pretty cool. You can change like the angle you're moving at. You still move the same direction, but you can like kind of move down and up a little bit, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah. There's like a couple of things that's not too great about these boots in this game. Like you cannot like enter stairs if you dash into them. You have to actually stop your dash, and this guy you just basically bonk. Like he gave me the bad RNG twice. Sometimes he charge into me and I bonk, and he's like facing the wall so I can slash him from the back, but he just basically slashed me twice there, which is like there's only 2 RNG anyway, so it's like the worst RNG, but
yeah. So we're gonna use these boots to like run through the muck of this place basically. Here, Sabin's gonna come up here and get the bow.
and I want to have a decent amount of health here, so that's why having a little bit of elf here helps, because there's gonna be a battle here coming up, and these guys kind of hurt,
Oh,
so don't
these
wanna.
guys. Not only do they hurt, they're like super RNG. Like,
Yes, the RNG in these enemies is kind of insane.
yeah, that just now was like, to be honest, like one of the better just movement patterns of the things
Yeah.
they can do. It's not even a pattern.
Yeah, I like the best will be basically all
They all
four
bunch
of
up in the
them.
corner.
Yeah, all four of them being stacked at the same spot, so I can slash them like all four at the same time, something like that. But so we still need a couple of kinstones. Like if you see earlier, I picked up like a gold kinstone. These are kind of like important kinstones. It's like four colors of these, like the green, the blue, the red, and the gold.
Yeah, and all the gold ones are like, I think basically event kinstones.
Yeah, story triggers or important events.
And I
The
think
rest
the
it's
green
pretty much.
ones, the green ones are like common luck basically. You like want to think about them as like luck. Like for Link, you're not getting lucky, you're getting items or whatever. But like for all of the townspeople in this game, they think they're getting lucky. So green ones are just common luck, blue ones are like uncommon luck, and then red ones are like rare luck. So
But all the three really it gives the like the unlocks areas in the game where like trees, caverns, and stuff like that. But
yeah.
these skin zones are the unlock stuff to do.
Also, like some of them will unlock like gold enemies, and they like drop extra money and are super strong and annoying. Basically, I think this is like one of the, kind of clever and a little cute aspects of the game. It definitely is unique to other Zeldas.
Yeah, if you wanna complete this game 100%, like on casual playthrough, like you will see like there's a lot of kinstones you can fusion,
Yeah.
like a ridiculous amount.
There is a 100% run of this, and on top of, I think you need to fuse all kinstones, right?
I know there's like these like kind of like amiibos you have to collect. That's
Yeah.
part of it, I think.
Yeah. So there's that. I don't know if you need to fuse all the kinstones. It's been a while since I've seen an actual run. Yeah, but there's also you pick up these things called mysterious seashells. Shout out to Link's Awakening. So you pick up these mysterious seashells. Sorry, I can't talk. And like you use them to basically pull a gotcha.
I actually forgot about that part. I know
Yeah.
I remember Link's Awakening, like the seashells, what they do, but this game I actually forgot.
Yeah, in this one, you give them to this guy who I guess is a big, mysterious seashell collector, and he'll let you pull a gotcha. And basically, the 100% run is like 40 minutes of sword slashing, so that you can manipulate the RNG to get all of them.
So I need to get as a Minish to disable that Armos Knight, so we can make it to the other side. And we
Yeah,
have to kill all the enemies here to make the door disappear.
Yeah, even if you like dash with Pegasus boots, like he still runs faster than you. Also, I hate these. Like, what are these under the rocks? Like, I can't stand those guys.
Yeah, if you pick them up from the side, it's actually a lot easier than from the front and back.
Those guys are so annoying.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna grab a little health here. I'm not super comfortable with one health here.
Yeah.
Do that. Right.
Yeah, all of the, I'm sure this is just like iconic in most Zelda games, but all of the temples or dungeons or whatever here usually have hearts at the very beginning.
Yeah, this is like a long stretch where you don't have like your heart refill. All you do on the like decisions you do in the overworld, it's kind of impacts this dungeon as well. So I'm gonna do like a little trick here. Well, it's not really a trick, it's just like I stand like I'm not wide enough to push the two buttons, but for some reason if I do that, it works. Like I would guess like there's like a couple of frames like the game considers the button still active even though you're not on it. Kind of time save there.
Yeah, that actually happens a lot in a lot of different instances. You'll see where we do like spin slashes or whatever to, you know, hit buttons that we should need, you know, for clones of ourselves or something.
Yeah. We need a couple of keys. Like I went right first, so I need that key, and I'm gonna go left after, like, and from there I'm gonna go center. Like this is one of the first dungeon on any percent that's a lot different because you use Minish portal to clip into the out of bound, some magic. But this is like the one of the first instance of this category where any percent and glitchless is different.
Yeah, and then later, like the rest of the run after this, after we get the item out of this dungeon, is super different. Since we're doing glitchless.
Yeah, you can actually go out of bound and see a lot of stuff. And those rupees are a trap. Don't pick them up.
Yeah, if you're picking up rupees in this game, I suggest sword slashing to see if they're real.
Yeah.
It's like it's to the point where, like, you know, after playing this as a speed run, I'm like, I don't even know what's in most of these other rooms in the dungeon.
Yeah, it is. It comes to a point where you forget all this once you start shooting this game. It's like, oh, what's this in?
So in order to make clones, you have to like charge up this bar all the way. So you'll see in a lot of instances, TheSabin's going to be charging up his spin slash and then the bar as he's walking towards things. You can clip through a small amount of space that is occupied by another object without your clone disappearing, and you'll actually see TheSabin do that again later in the run as
Mad Mark, I'm gonna upgrade my sword, which is an upgrade for the sword, for damage. But I'm not grabbing like techniques that I did. Like the sword spin attack is like the only technique I'm gonna grab in this game.
Yeah, I think there are 8 total scrolls you can get. What do they call, like,
Yeah.
the tiger scroll, something
Like a
that you
lot
can
of
get.
them. But
Yeah,
for the
there are
sword,
lots.
it's like mandatory to actually forge it to the maximum damage. So
Right.
the boots here, gonna try to the quick kill. Yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. So he basically charged me, and I was able to one cycle him. And you don't actually want to like slash your sword like crazy. You have to time it a certain way. Like you have to take your time.
Oh, okay. Well, now I know why I always fail that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get the digging mitts or whatever the heck they're called. They're pretty cool.
All mitts,
a
I
lot of
think.
Yeah, a lot of people say they remind them of like sand slash or something. I don't know if you're supposed to like boots across this or just roll, but rolling works well.
Yeah, I'm not sure. In this room very carefully because I don't necessarily want to get grabbed, and if we get grabbed, it's gonna go back. It's gonna put me back into the start of the dungeon. Also,
Wow.
3 kinstones drop.
Yeah, so we don't want to pick up any kinstones. Unlike other items where you only get a cutscene once, kinstones give you a cutscene every time. So we don't want to pick up any of those, let
Yeah.
alone one.
And it actually messes up your like when you fuse kinstones later on, it's like at the top of the menu and it messes up like one more kinstone you have to scroll down every time.
Yeah, Mad Mark, we're not going to pick up any of the Tiger Skulls except for the first one.
I think there's like, I might be wrong, but it might have 6 from the main one in the town, one more hidden somewhere, and it's like a ghost that you have to unlock.
Yeah. I know that
Dungeon.
there's one in the Hyrule Castle Garden, and he teaches you sword beams.
Yeah, I think that's the.
Yeah, and then there's some more.
Like I mentioned, it's been a long time since I've played this game 100%. Because there's like a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, there are 100% runs of this, as I mentioned, but
Here, so I'm gonna go back to you cannot get grab here as a Minish, but then you can. So I need to make sure to not get grabbed here. Very important.
he'll get grabbed later, but not right there.
Yeah.
Or well, right there, but not at that. Whatever, you get what I mean. Yeah, so just for like a frame of reference, like I think Sabin, you said your estimate for this is like 240.
Yeah, 240. Yeah. It should be fine as long as I don't die. I got my
Yeah.
death list today, so
Nice. Yeah, and like the glitchless record is 218 or something.
Yeah, 218.
100%, and this is with glitches. 100% is still more than 4 hours, so it's a very long category.
So I think it's this boss is kind of like a reminiscent. Like it's a reminiscent boss from Wind Waker actually. Like there's a Nicola. Like this boss is basically from Wind Waker.
Kind of reminds me of Bongo Bongo as well.
Yes.
Very
Like
vaguely.
actually, yeah.
This reminds me of the ants from SN64.
Oh,
Remember that?
In SSL. Well, maybe you're not the SN64 watcher. That's okay.
Yeah. So it's faster here to exit instead of get grabbed by the end. Oh. This boss is actually very fun to do. Like there's a
Yeah,
lot of
it's
stuff
really
going on.
yeah, a lot of these bosses are actually pretty fun to do. Say just in general, like it's fun to do these bosses because of just the techniques you need to do in
Yeah.
order to go fast. Yeah, shoutouts to this boss too. He'll shoot a laser at you, turns you into the Minish sometimes, and that's really annoying when you're trying to use your sword as Big Lip.
Is this boss doing that actually?
Yeah.
I don't even remember what's his attack instead. Like I know he grabs you, but that's all he does in the speed run, so I don't see anything else.
That's all he does in the speedrun unless you're me and you're slow. I got minished today by that guy. That was really annoying.
So this dungeon was marked as like one of the pendants that we can collect, but learned that it's actually not a pendant here. We're getting the ocarina instead. We're like, hey, where is the pendant? Where do we go now?
I can't remember if Ezlo says something like they moved it or it's not here anymore, but in any case, yeah, it's not here. So the ocarina, much like Link to the Past, takes us to places. And we need to come here and talk to this Minish in order to trigger the next part of the story to progress. And I think he tells us to go to talk to library or something, basically library, which is a Minish elf.
It's kind of weird how they did because you never unlock that, like the portal I just used, you never actually unlock it, but it gives you right away. So it's kind of like a hint that you need to go there. Because the one that I just took from the city, I actually had to unlock it manually by talking to the stone. But the other one, it gives you the game gives it to you.
Yeah, so now we go on this big fetch quest. So when we come in here and talk to this Minish right here at the bottom of the bookcase, he tells us that because there are a bunch of books missing that we can't go talk to the elders, so we have to go get all these books back. And this is the start of the book fetch quest. You don't actually need to talk to the librarian at the start, but you do need to talk to her afterwards, otherwise the guy who has the second book won't let you into his house.
Yeah, this part is actually like kind of confusing if you're starting to learn this game. Like there's a lot of menuing, a lot of stuff to collect, and Ezlo won't actually stop talking in the screen.
Yeah, he's afraid of the cat. Like, even though the cat's not doing anything, he's like, I've never been looked at like a piece of meat. And I'm just like, the cat is literally not doing anything.
Well, he
Coincidentally,
got slashed there.
coincidentally, if you stand next to the cat, I learned today it actually has a kinstone you can fuse. Otherwise, if you stand just like a little bit away from it, it's like, oh, we're gonna play, and it like slashes you and does a bunch of damage.
Yeah, for some reason, as a Minish, you can actually talk to dogs and cats and other animals. I don't know about cows. I never actually tried, maybe.
Yeah, you can talk to the cows. I think that's the whole Jabbernut thing too, where Link ate the Jabbernut, so now he understands every language.
And we're gonna actually talk to this doggo, and it's like, hey, you're in the way, can you move out? I was like, oh, okay.
He's just like, oh, I just wanted attention. I'll move.
Starts going left and right, so we can go past him. I need water.
Yeah, remembering to get water here is kind of important. A little annoying if you don't get. So here we have to come up here and talk to the librarian. Otherwise, there's like this scholar, and he has the next book, but he won't let us in to get it unless we say, hey, your book's over there.
Yeah, and we actually have to talk twice to the librarian. Words. Yeah, or to activate the fact that we can open the door. Otherwise, it's not gonna let us open.
Yeah, the first time you talk to her, you return the first book you got, and then the next time you talk to her, she's like, okay, well, the next book is.
And we go here to, if we don't talk to this guy, there's another Minish that's blocking our path. Next house. By talking to him, it can actually go in.
He's basically telling us, like, this path to the treasure or whatever is across the Great Lake, or across the Great River and beyond two beasts and stuff. Yeah, so we gotta walk past some cats and go around a fountain and get into this dank old cave.
You can get a damage boost from the cat going down, but
then we gotta fight more of these really annoying guys.
Actually what they're called, like parasites or Forgot the menu here. But even quit out of there so we can like respawn at the last location we used, like right here. Nice, I got moved away by the NPC there.
Those guys are called Mulldozers.
Bulldozer.
Yeah, I looked it up. There are some enemies I've never seen before, and I don't know where you see them.
We collected those bracelets, and for some reason we have like superpower as a Minish. We can move like shelves.
Here is one of the cool instances of the Ocarina glitch in the any percent version, where you do this and then walk across just empty air and make this book fall down a little bit fast. That little Minish guy is like, ha! I made you help me make this book fall down, and I'm gonna jump over here.
And I love the guy like has no reaction. Like there's a book. Like if you have like in your house like there's a book for coming out from your ceiling, you jump. But this guy is like here.
He is so into his research. It is bright in his room, and he still has a lantern lit up next to him.
We got the second book, and we still need a third one. I think if you like talking people in the town, they give you hints like they say, "Hey, the mayor has the book," but you go to the mayor and the mayor says, "I don't have it anymore," and it's like I left it at my I don't know I don't know what it's called, but it's like the house in my house in the lake.
I can only remember the Japanese name for. I think it's called a villa. Hold on. Yeah, I think it's called a.
Yeah, this house right here.
Anyway, so yeah, this house. If you go in there, there's a note that basically tells you to run headlong into your problems. AKA Pegasus dash into the tree.
Yeah. I would guess like people who played LTTP kind of knew that just bunking into a Brits.
Yeah, and now that we have the bracelets, we can push cabinets and things.
So we can save and quit out of this instead of going back into the stuff. Save and
It'll
quitting
drop us.
there. Gonna put us at the stair here.
Yeah. I think it puts you at the exit you just left.
Yeah, I don't know exactly the science, like what's considered an exit or not, and if you save and quit in certain location, where it's gonna put you. But it seems that this location's worth. So yeah, dropping the 2 books here, more than enough. There's a lot of times where I actually forgot to do that, like talk to the librarian, run and drop the book, and I'm like going upstairs as a Minish, and the path is not open because I forgot to do that. And, yeah. Now the books are in place. We can actually go back in there. Our way to the Elder. Not sure if it's an Elder or not. Well, he has more. He has a bigger staff than the Elder we came across like earlier in the first dungeon, or the first dungeon.
Yeah, I think that Minish 2 are like they're split up into like groups where there's like City Minish and then there's Forest Minish, and this is like a City Minish. So he just picked up a feather from like some kind of like city bird.
Yeah, he looks
Also,
more
he's not, like,
important. How is? Forget which direction is it. So I'm gonna grab berry here. I'm gonna refill my health, and I'm gonna catch it after. right on C. And you don't actually need a bug net to catch stuff in this game, which is nice. You just need to bottle.
These are by far, like, aside from the Dark Nuts, one of the most annoying enemies in the game.
Got good positioning there,
Very
so I was
nice.
able to do that.
It's a very good, like, just positioning and patterns and stuff for those enemies is, like, it saves a ton of time.
Yeah. Now we have the flippers, so we are heading our way to the Palace of Droplets, which I like to call the Ice Palace, because that's what it is.
Yep. Shoutouts to swim speed. You swim so fast in this game when you're mashing A.
Yes. Compared to other 2D Zelda games.
So this is another palace that we do as a Minish. Or rather Minish size. And the boss here is going to be an Octorok that's really annoying. But there are some other really kind of like interesting enemies that we see in here that we would not normally have any problem with as Big Link. Aside from the awful ice physics, I thought that the way that they handled, like, just like, you know, you have a key frozen in a block of ice, and so you melt it with sunlight, I always thought that was kind of clever.
Yeah, this dungeon is kind of nice as like design perspective. Like I think there's there's a couple of clever mechanics. Not using any percent Macarena here. Wrong button. So yeah, on any percent you can actually like use the ocarina to go out of bound and you skip like a whole section of the game. And this room is hard to do just because of the ice physics.
Yeah, I'm by far I would say not the most annoying ice physics, but still annoying.
That. And we're gonna actually save and quit out of this. So it's gonna put us at the start of the dungeon, which is actually faster than back up this or wait back there. And Neslo is like, hey, we found the thingy here that's like the third one, and it's like it's frozen. Now we should probably like unfreeze it or something.
Yeah, there's gotta be the ways to unfreeze that, maybe.
I kill those. They're annoying for when I come back. Actually, they might respawn, maybe. Let's see.
Maybe. What's really weird is you kind of swim down the waterfall here until you actually go into the screen transition, but when you fall, we're gonna get a lily pad here in a moment, and when you fall down with the lily pad, you just fall down.
Like kind of like a jar that says like it shows like it may be something down there. I think probably Islo tells you something about that.
I think
forgot.
it's that that tablet where you hit the switch says something about it as well, but who knows?
Yeah. Got the key. We come back here, and we actually have access to them. Like this, like back and forth into these rooms, like all that to get the leaf, and going back down to the same place with the leaf.
Yeah, and the whole reason being is that when you swim in this game, you can't get on shore without either steps or shallow.
Yeah, like these light blue there, you can actually get out of the water by standing on these. If you're into the water and you land on the go back on land, but if you don't have these, you're stuck on the water.
So basically we need to use the leaf as our platform to get to the switch, which lowers the gate to go up here. There's a whole big puzzle that you're supposed to do.
Whoa.
Nice ice physics.
Yeah.
But Sabin's gonna skip it by just kind of going in here, and just the leaf teleports for some reason and goes to the place it needs to.
Don't have to do anything on that. I know that's not that, all that stuff. I don't even know what there, to be honest, other than that. And we have our friends here. Like they're kind of hard to kill because like they're doing like a circle movement when they throw the claw,
Yeah.
and they're not like fixed targets. You need to make sure that you don't actually slash your sword into the blue claws as well, because they're gonna come back to the enemy right away if you do that. So you have to actually like let it go a little bit and now start slashing.
So basically we went in the left side and did some weird spiral up onto the right side. And now we're going to go into the right side and spiral up onto the left.
Going on an adventure, and this section is the whole reason I pick up a fairy, because it's kind of like you can take a lot of damage.
Yeah, you kind of have to here in order to just kind of go fast.
Yeah.
The boots kind of mitigate the ice physics, but first of all, you can't let go of them or you slide anyway. But you know, second of all, you need to know where to kind of like let go of A and then hit A again and move. Otherwise, you're just gonna be going all over the place.
A little puzzle here where you actually like open, like it's open like at the bottom, like the middle section it's open, but you cannot cross it, so you have to close it, go back up, open the top, and then you can open it again. The ice, chest of the ice.
All this for a little key.
Yep. There. I like if you don't cancel your dash, you will bonk if you enter a stair there. Kind of annoying, but.
So here we're gonna fight another jelly, but this one's a little more annoying because it's got an additional like electricity physics, and when it's electrified, you can't suck the bottom out so that it falls over.
Yeah, I cannot suck the bottom, and you cannot damage it. You have to wait on the electricity expires. Same principle, it went left first, so I'm positioning myself on the left. Can fall quicker.
I actually have no idea how you're supposed to kill these guys when you're not a Minish, because they are just constantly electrified when you're Big Link.
Might be something. Well, you can use the bow and I guess stuff stuff like that. Other equipments, or maybe you can just use the jar to stun them.
It's a really short stun. I don't know. Yeah, these blue choo-choos I do not like.
Kinda like a little bit mistakes there. Ow. When did Choo Choo? It's kinda funny how like if you look at the face.
He's smiling like a maniac. It's great.
Yeah.
So we get this lantern, and unlike other Zeldas, we don't have magic in this one, so we can just have the lantern on all the time.
Alright, and this whole section is pretty terrible. A lot of RNG, a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, especially like this room and like these next 2 or 3 rooms are just like you're in the dark because they're like, hey, look, you've got a lantern. Let's play with the lantern. Except you don't actually use the lantern to like kill anything.
Oh, I
this
got a
dungeon?
Kinstone.
Oh no.
And
There's
this
only.
this is
Oh,
probably
no,
the
there's
worst.
some more.
This room is probably the worst room in the game.
That's so long and slow. And then there are these bulldozers just rolling around trying to get in your way.
It's terrible.
Especially the blue ones. The red ones die quickly, but the blue ones have extra health.
Blue ones actually do half a heart. That's the problem. You have to be careful when you actually navigate this part.
And as far as I know, there aren't any hearts going through that maze, so.
There's like one other pot, but other than that, yeah, it's just drops for buildings.
I think there's one at the very, very end that we can pick up, but otherwise, going into this room to get the key, there aren't any
Oh, I got
pots
one
with,
there.
with hearts. Yeah, you gotta be lucky and just get one from like an enemy.
There's like a one heart there you can pick up.
Yeah. It's pretty much on the way too. There
Yeah.
are items in the game that you can buy from like the marketplace that influence your drops. So you can buy like I think they're called Pika Light or something, where you can buy like ones that make enemies and like digging in the ground drop more rupees or kinstones or hearts, but yeah, we don't do that. First of all, I think it costs 200 rupees to buy them at all, and then second of all, it's just you have to use the gust jar in the marketplace to move things, so like we're not gonna do that.
I actually forgot about that. It's like you use buy them and you use them. It's like a buff you gain for a certain amount of time.
Yeah. I think it's a very short amount of time too. Also, I hate this room.
Yeah, I actually learned how to like I kind of like I have a setup by holding like diagonals and like get into paths easily. But yeah, I didn't need to push that block right here, but I did before having clones. Like it's possible to do it with the clones, but you have to be quick. That's why I did earlier.
Yeah. Also, the ice physics makes it difficult to be quick. Yeah, you saw TheSabin was on fire there, and that's like a physic in this game that can happen. It's just a thing that happens to you. And when you're on fire, you can't even go like through doors or anything. Like you are essentially like crippled for the time being. Can't really do anything. This is also a very difficult room to do fast. Yikes.
Still got it.
Nice. Yeah, you have some leeway. Fortunately, you don't have like a magic meter or anything that you need to worry about here, so makes it a little easier, but it's still really annoying.
Funny story, you cannot actually roll through these enemies. So I tried before, and you just like in most of the enemies you can roll through them, and you're gonna like pass them. But these one that we just got, I cannot do that.
Oh yeah. So we have to fight these like worm things again. It's much easier to one cycle them or two cycle them now because our sword is powered up.
Yeah, but he's giving me the RNG where he's showing up of my face when I slash the tail. The other one, kind of weird.
Yeah, you have to focus them down all the time, unless like they're like moving on top of each other, which I don't think I've ever seen.
Alright, so all that section was just to actually activate the switch that we will encounter right here. We can release the
Release the Octork.
yeah.
So we get this element, and now we also unfreeze this enemy that's right below.
I guess Louis is like, hey, we released, we can pick it up, and there's like this Octorok right here. That's it, unfrozen as well, and he's basically stealing it from us. So we need to get that back. That's what we're gonna do. And this boss is very RNG. Like the first two phases are gonna be always the same if I don't mess it up.
Yeah, so the first time he's gonna throw 3 rocks at us, and then he's gonna freeze up, and we gotta go burn his tail.
Yeah, the first phase is always the same, so he's gonna like shoot 3 rocks. Second phase it's gonna suck me in. Gonna shoot a rock, suck me in again, and shoot 2 rocks. So I just need to escape. Okay, just one. A rock. Gonna suck me in again. And 2 rocks.
Yeah, so the next phase he can do, like, I think it's like one of 3 things, right?
Yeah, it can. He can suck that. So the third phase, he can suck me in, shoot a rock, and ink. Like there's basically 0, 1, and 2 ink on the last this phase right here, and it's all RNG. So we'll see what happens.
He does have a chance to do 3 rocks straight up, and that's what you really hope he does.
I think I got the good RNG. Yeah. Well, 0 inks.
Exactly. This is what you want to see in like world record PB pace, and basically this is the boss that kind of dictates whether or not you will get a PB or not.
It's actually a new manipulation that was released yesterday. For this, I looked it up on on the Discord that talked about it on the Minish
really?
Discord. Yeah, there's a manipulation that can be done. Like you basically after you flip the switch, the second switch, you save and quit, and you do a certain movement, and based on the RNG, like the rocks falling, you react to that certain rolls. Kind of complicated, but it can be done. There's a YouTube out there for that. So this and this. So now we have the third element. So we're gonna go back to Hyrule Castle to fuse that element into our sword. Gonna give us one more clone and more damage. But like remember the cutscene from not yesterday, but earlier. Actually, I messed that up. I'm gonna restart the screen.
I have
Like
such a hard time in this maze, dude. So basically, you remember like Ocarina of Time where you have to like dodge all the guards. That's this, except 2D. And I find it's really difficult to get past that last guard quickly.
fortunately, if you go fast enough, it's not hard. But yeah, I got like the last guard when you go up. I got caught there a couple of times before. Where's our sword here? I have the blue sword. And now we can do one more clone, which is we can have three links now. Gonna roll out again of the castle. In the secret entrance here. And we're gonna actually on purpose get caught by the guard here just because it's faster. He's gonna spawn us at the start here. And now we can go to that section right here, which we never see on any person actually. Nice shell.
Stupid shell, dude. There's just a chance. Most of the time, you don't see shells unless you are literally going out of your way to kill enemies, and then just sometimes they spawn in the random places that you can't avoid them in.
And now we are at the Royal Valley, which is like a cemetery.
Yeah.
I actually never see this part on any person. That's what I think Glitchless is cool. Like you see parts of the game you never see on speedrun.
Although, you actually don't really see much of this because we're going through it in the dark.
Yeah. There's like a Lost Wood kind of maze here. Like if you know the directions, you can like go there and it always the same. It's like you can use the lamp here, but I know like where to go, so I don't actually need it. And to access the I guess it will be called the King's Tomb. We need the key to enter it, but we got it stolen by basically like a jerk bird.
Yep. These jerk bird crows. Yeah, and if you know where to go, you can just get it right away. If you walk too close to that bird, he picks up the key and flies.
Basically, I have to reset the room back to there.
So here, TheSabin is going to make use of the fact that you can kind of walk through some things with the clones if it's not too thick.
Yeah, you basically like my setup is actually hugging the fence, and I just press up, and it skips like going into the left section.
And you absolutely do not want to hug the mummies. They hurt.
No, they grab you and
They do several hearts of damage.
Stop doing that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, maximum. Alright.
Yeah, I think those other doors are fake doors. When you try and open them, they just fall down on you.
What's cool about this little dungeon? It's using a lot of the Zelda 1 elements, like the music.
Yeah.
The sound effect from that key that appeared from Zelda 1, and you're gonna hear it again the next one as well.
Yeah, the music in here is really cool too.
Like that. It's kind of like a very small dungeon. kind of like an homage to Zelda 1.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think in Zelda 1 you can also burn the mummies and they turn into skeletons as well. Can't remember.
I think that's the. Not sure. That's, yeah, I know there's another one Zelda, another Zelda that does that. So yeah, we got the kinstone, a golden kinstone, and gold means very important. Uh, that to advance the story. So we're gonna use it on the right section here. There's like a door that's blocking our path. That's always that's blocking our path since the beginning of the game. But now we have the kinstones to get past through it.
Good thing you picked up that shell earlier, I guess.
Yeah, the 2-drop there.
Coming up is like one of the coolest sections of the game. But first, we have to climb this mountain.
Gonna see an old friend from another game as well. From Ocarina of Time. Not gonna necessarily see him, but we're gonna hear him.
I think if you use enough kinstones and you get the right one, he pops up and I think eventually gives you something. Not sure.
Yeah, maybe. Like this guy right here, like he looks familiar from the top.
It's just like a cream puff, dude.
Or. So one of the best music in the game, I would say.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, this game has got a bunch of solid tracks, but this is one of the best in the game.
Yeah, that's the best one, I think. At least for me. We're it basically need to collect like these golden kinstones and fusion them to gain access to the upper part of the cloud.
So basically, these little pinwheels are sealing like a really big vortex. I don't know. It's like the butterfly effect, where like these 6 little pinwheels make a giant vortex or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah. And this screen is actually a big giant screen where you can actually navigate using the windows. Yeah.
If you get really lucky, you can push those off the side or make them jump on their own.
Oh yeah, right.
But otherwise, you want the cane of Paki out so that you can just hit them at all.
Yeah, you don't really need. You can like if you're able to kill them in 2 slashes once. Like they basically eventually jump out. So if you can kill them using 2 slashes, you don't actually need the cane. But yeah. Little Lakitu here can actually wall through him instead of killing him to open the path.
Why are there sharks swimming through the clouds? They're cloud sharks, man.
Video
Makes
games.
sense.
I mean, we have Lakitus up here, so come on. Next thing you know, we're gonna be finding fire flowers, whatever. Fire flowers. It's all good.
Yeah. Mario and Zelda games are colliding.
Yeah. Particularly, like 2D Zelda games. You know, LADX and things like that. You will see a lot of like crossovers and stuff.
Yeah, they tend to have fun with that.
The chain chomps are the big one.
Yeah, from LTTP.
Yeah,
Yep.
they also appear in LADX, if I recall correctly.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a pet you have in the beginning of the game.
Mm.
And then Super Mario 2 or whatever, 2 USA
Oh, Lost Levels.
with the frog boss. Yeah.
Oh, the Mario 2 real one. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know what's real or not.
The one where you can choose if you want to play as Peach or Luigi or Toad or whatever.
Yeah, that's Mario 2 USA.
Yeah, we don't have any like weird hidden frogs in here, but there are a lot of crossovers and like throwbacks to some cool things.
I don't think we have frogs in this game. I never thought about that.
Yeah, I don't think we do either. Yeah, so this whole section, when you're learning, like I stopped taking notes and started taking screenshots because I knew I wasn't gonna remember any of this crap. It's kind of confusing, but I think once you kind of get it down, it's mostly muscle memory.
But right there, I only have one Kinstone to fusion, so I'm saving and quitting. It's gonna put me back at the start here. I can just get there right away. And we unlock the big tornado, which gives us access to the upper part. Like there's like a temple or something.
Yeah. Split?
No.
I see.
I split when
I
I hit the second one.
Okay. No, I'm just kind of hoping you get a PB. You're pretty close, but whatever.
My endgame is pretty good, so I'm not counting on it.
Yeah, on this part in the any percent, you do the ocarina glitch. I tried it out earlier. It's kind of precise, but you know it can still be done. Basically,
Grab these. Like there's like two fairies on the side here. You didn't use the bottle before, you can do that.
yeah. Yeah, you can use the ocarina glitch to get up here. I don't know if they use it through here or not. I imagine they do. It's a weird thing where like it kind of enables you to like walk through, like walk on top of walls as well as through NPCs and stuff.
I don't want to kill those. Take more. Those skeletons are kind of annoying because you have to create clones here, and if you get hit, it's like you have to do that again. Just for my sanity, I prefer killing them.
Yeah, this dungeon is just gigantic.
Yes, there's a lot of stuff in this dungeon.
I think you said like it takes like 14 minutes or something.
My split is, yeah, I don't really, you don't see the segment. It's 14, yeah. I'm gonna wait.
Coming up is one of the best instances of using the lantern. So the lantern lights up the dark and also kills wizards in one hit.
That's pretty nifty on this. Like, there's a faster strat where you use the bombs and you place them a certain way to kill all of them at the same time. But I don't have a lot of bombs and I'm not that great, so I'd rather do this. I basically
Yeah.
have only one bomb, so I wouldn't do that anyway.
And then you get like some weird like it's like a combination of the feather and the cape. Like yeah, this is a pretty cool section and
Got it first try.
very nice. Yeah, that's a cool skip that skips a really long puzzle.
There's a section on the right you have to do, but if you like, there's like a setup with watching the blue choo choo. Like once he starts doing the jump animation, that's where I exit the cloud and I do the setup, and I go for it basically. And window is kind of tight, but it's one of the tricks that worries me the most in this game. Especially in this part, like you're on PB pace and you have to do this trick. If you fail it, it's like time loss, and like as a snowball effect, if you don't get a first try, you're gonna miss it 5-6 times in a row.
Yeah. These crows here are just annoying.
Yeah. I always get hit there, no matter what I do.
There's some really cool skips you could do, regardless of this being glitchless, with just the way the loading zones are set up. And we'll see a couple later as well. But yeah, there are also some really annoying things like these like weird spike rollers.
Yeah, they're based on the like if you once you enter the room, they start like doing the animation. So if your movement is correct, you can like do skips, like skipping like being in front of them and go faster. But
this puzzle can be confusing, so it's really good to kind of pay attention to, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know, playing chess. Just pay attention to what you're moving and think about the movements that you can make later. Or something. Just like one player chess.
I forgot to equip. Jump over it. So all this was just to grab that single key that we're gonna use here. A little skip you can do here, you can jump from there and hit the loading zone. Skip like basically jumping on the cloud.
I learned today too that if you accidentally fall down at that point, it is weird and loads you back into the loading. So like if you fall off the cloud instead of jumping, it just sends you right back up on top of the cloud.
That's weird.
Yep. There are a bunch of lactus here that want to fry you with electricity balls, but you just ignore them.
So I'm not gonna go all the way to the clouds. I'm here, and there's like, and I'm gonna go to here, and we'll be able to hit the loading zone, so I don't need to go all the way up.
Yeah, I can't do this. Like, I fall off every time.
You can have to delay, like you jump and you delay a little bit and you repress the jump, the item,
Interesting.
get further.
These ball and chain bros are so annoying and do a lot of damage.
I try to be careful there.
They drop you 100 rupees each though, so...
Yeah, it just sucks that we don't need rupee anymore. If there's a heart there, yeah, there is. This is not a guarantee, but it helps.
Yeah. And you
Especially
can
for this
always
room.
farm hearts. if you're unsure, if you're like learning the speedrun or playing casually, you can always farm those hearts. Just leave the room and go back in. Getting hit by these ice whiz robes is super annoying because they freeze you and you have to like mash a bunch of buttons.
I got a lot of there's a lot of instances in runs where I lost a lot of health in that single gauntlet.
Yeah. So basically, we did all of that to come over here and get this key, to come up here and get the big key.
And you will think like getting the big key, like unlocking the big key chest, big key door is gonna lead you to the boss, but nope. Still
Nope.
whole section left. And I jumped there because there's like Islo talks to you if you walk into it. So I skipped
That's
like the
so cool.
yeah. You basically fall into the hole and the guard is like, hey, where is Link? And you poke him in the back and I'll fall into oblivion.
Yeah. Otherwise, those things take forever to kill, and on that stage, it's just a pain in the butt. So, making him fall down is so much faster.
That's a godsend. I wouldn't like fighting that guy on the platform.
We do not need another Dark Nut fight in the speedrun.
There's enough of it. Gonna kill these for my sanity. I only have one bomb though. Yeah, I missed it. Okay. I usually have more bombs than that. That's why I didn't pick up. Alright, let's do this. I don't even know what's the strat. That's gonna be actually that's okay. Hold on. It's the first time I'm doing this like the way it's intended, by the way. It's like
Yeah.
that. Okay. So yeah,
Nice.
usually you drop a bomb and you slash your sword, but and you're able to activate the forward switch, but that my setup is not.
Also,
I
don't
guess I
forget
got-
the key here, because then you have to go all the way back through.
Yeah.
You have to have the 2 keys, otherwise you're just like, where the heck did I forget the key?
You jump on that tornado, you can skip like most of it.
Yeah, all of this. Don't go up too early or you'll hit the bomb. Fortunately, there will be some bombs soon.
Do not get grabbed by these.
Yeah, getting grabbed by wall masters is awful. Also avoid kinstones.
Doing that dungeon again, painful.
Yeah, and I don't think we unlocked the portals.
Yeah,
so...
there's a red. Oh, I don't have bomb. Okay, there's a pot here when you can grab bombs here.
Yeah.
There's a red portal I could have unlocked, but I have a fairy and I don't think I will die. But it's something you can do if you're not comfortable.
Yeah. I know someone who does that. Me.
I started doing it when I first starting the game. I don't blame you.
Yeah, there's this really annoying puzzle that you're supposed to like avoid all of these things or they all explode on you. Yeah, and like spoilers, the switch triggers the door to close, so you're supposed to like walk, but you could just jump backwards.
Yeah, I did the mistake once to demonstrate that that's what happened, so I did.
I don't know. The wall masters are a little bit of both. We do use them to teleport us back in one dungeon, and in every other dungeon we really just want to avoid them.
That's 5, 1, 3. So like I delay my jump here, if I can hit the loading zone. And I'm gonna grab a little bit of heart there. There's one more there and one more on the right, left. Need more health that boss because that boss actually does a lot of damage. So
Especially if you get hit by anything on here. So basically what's going to happen is, and we'll see this gimmick coming up in the next boss fights after this as well, but you want to hit exactly the thing, like there were 3 hearts, or sorry, 3 eyeballs open, and you want to hit them all at once. And then that opens up the rest of the eyeballs to damage the boss.
that was weird. Actually, usually I'm able to just walk on the platform, but that was a weird angle. I don't know.
I hate this part of the boss because this guy is shooting like weird damage things at you. Sometimes if you get like the right position and slash, you can hit all of the eyeballs at once, even if it's not the right like pattern.
It seems like this fight, if you don't like get the opening correctly, it goes out of control quickly.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
And the second phase of this boss is really annoying just because it's shooting these like little balls of energy at you that damage you, so your clones disappear right away. In the next phase, you'll have like 5 of those little green things flying around, and they're not as annoying as just the little balls of energy.
Should be good after this. Ah! Okay. Oh
Nice
my god.
dodge.
Ah, almost was like 1 to hit probably away. Yeah, this boss is, like I mentioned, like if you don't get the opening correctly, it's fast. And I'm trying to minimize the damage for the most part. I'm not trying to go hard. Wow, okay. I got pushed back by the guy while he was dying.
That was funny.
Right.
Yeah, and then like the last cycle was just you being like, die. Yeah, if you haven't played the Minish Cap, I highly recommend it. It's a really fun game. Especially casually. It feels really clean. All of the sections are like, they don't feel too meshed together or sloppy.
Yeah, it's a very well made game, sure.
I do believe it's pretty late in the Game Boy Advance life as well, so it's, you know, it's got all of the graphics pretty tuned up and tight.
And
Yeah, I can explain why it's like it looks so good, visually appealing.
Go for it. I hate that card right there so much.
because it's like a 2D game with sprites, so like most of the developers had already had a lot of experience with already. Wasn't like hard to make that game very polished and compared to LTT, where there's a lot of. Well, I guess the LTP is well made as well. It's just broken death, I guess. This game is not as much, but. Yeah, ALTTP GBA, yeah, that's the problem with ALTTP GBA is it took an SNES game and ported it to the GBA. But Minish Cap, it's made for the GBA from the ground up. That's the difference there. So the sound is not like sound effects, music are made for the GBA sound chip. Didn't try to replicate the SNES.
Yeah. So, like earlier in the run, we were talking about how Vadi was looking for the Light Force, blah blah blah. This whole scene is basically explaining that, like, the Minish came down and gave the Picori sword to the hero, and the hero vanquished the darkness. And together with the light, they sealed away, like, you know, the darkness in that box that Vadi opened at the beginning of the game. And then, like, the last panel of the thing is like, yeah, the force is inside the princess. And Vadi's just like, yo, thanks.
That's because that's all he wanted from the beginning. For us to access this room.
Kind of reminds me of, you know, the Oracle of Ages, where you have to get the mystery seeds, and the boss is like, yeah, I wanted you to get those for me because those are painful to me.
And we now actually unlocked the full potential of the sword by having the 4 elements fusion. So we have a sword beam, but it requires us to charge the sword completely to just do 1 sword beam. Yeah, and it does the maximum damage.
And for some reason it can melt stone.
Somehow, yeah.
You do get sword beams in the game if you go find the Tiger Scroll with them, but There's a safety zone down here with the fairies and stuff. If you didn't know about it, you do now. And it makes the last boss very easy. To be fair, the last phase of the last boss is already very easy.
Yeah, the final boss in this game is the Dark Nuts. Its body is not a terrible boss battle.
Yeah. Especially if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, it can be a bit confusing, but otherwise it's not too bad. That door is fake. Don't go in it.
There's a couple of cheese you can do, like the last phase. We'll see that later.
Oh yeah, the last phase is great. Personally, I think the figurines are the worst torture for a completionist in this game.
And that like you have to use slots or something like that. It's random.
Yeah, it's random. Like after a while, like it basically, so it's gacha, all right. So you like pull like a little ball comes out. You open it up. It's a figurine inside, basically. And based off of like at the start, like you use 1 shell, and it gives you, it's a 100% chance to get a new figurine. When you use 1 shell, and it's a 98%, and slowly the chance goes down and down.
Yeah, I think it's like the exact mini game. Like if you played, like, I'm pretty sure everyone did, like Smash Melee. Like you have to unlock all the figures. It's like a mini game. You have to play slots, like not slots, but like a gumball machine, like the same principle.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, that's true. Some kinstones can be missed. To be fair, if you're just playing this casually, you probably won't know you missed them.
I have Ezreal talk to us here on purpose before charging our sword. Because if I do
Yep.
charge my sword and walk into that, cancel everything.
Yep. You'd be like, yeah, it's faster to charge my sword, and I still talks to you. You're like, never mind.
There.
It's supposed to be a walking puzzle, but apparently it can be a rolling puzzle too. I really like TheSabin's optimization for this.
So yeah, basically I reset the room, which allows me to basically do that in one go, instead of wiggling back and forth to escape that little thing that goes around. And here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna actually leave the dungeon and re-enter it, which is gonna basically put a checkpoint, because later on I will save and quit, and by save and quitting, it's gonna put me back in the entrance here instead, like they're probably like in the basement from earlier.
Yeah, I think if you don't leave and enter again, it loads you up at the sanctuary.
One thing I learned from this, you actually have to hold your sword upwards in order for this to work.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Otherwise, it's not working and it's frustrating. Hold your sword out there, it's gonna work.
I see. I hate this room, but you know, it's mostly just a bunch of annoying enemies that run at you and make you drop your rupees. And unfortunately, we don't really care about our rupees anymore.
So yeah, right there, I did like, I wasn't expecting that to work, but I timed my slashes correctly and he fell. Key. And now we're gonna play Tornado outside the castle. Wait for the fireball here. So yeah, because I have the best sword, I can like do 4 clones now. 3 clones, so I can like 4 links basically. Ah, I didn't want that.
Yeah, using the tornadoes outside is basically all you being like, okay, well, I'm going to avoid this tornado, go that tornado. Getting the maximum distance for your tornado usage, your Ezlo parachute.
Oh my god, getting bullied here.
Yeah, those guys are not nice.
Somehow didn't get hit at all, and I got a health from that. Alright. So on this room, you don't move left or right at all. You just go up and down. They're already on a good position.
Yeah. We do that again in another room as well, where we just use a spin slash, and very nice.
Yeah, that was pretty good. They were positioned correctly. Dropping a bomb there. I hugged the wall, so I can drop it inside the wall basically, and not the hole.
I think what the game wants you to do there is like, I assume use like the gust jar to like propel one of those guys, those bombs at it, but
Yeah,
when you could.
or maybe like you drop a bomb and you wait the platform.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, one's gonna be slower, ultimately.
okay, I'll take that.
Very nice.
So you can like actually kill him entering the room. So you basically like make him appear and you're already on the side of him. And you just slash him so we can one cycle him, but he gave me a candy, I guess.
Yeah, and then there's me, and I have no idea what I'm doing with these guys. So the rest of this dungeon is basically Sabin's going to be killing dark nuts, getting a small key, save, reset, do it again.
Gonna kill those guys.
Also, this entire room is the worst.
Why I didn't do that yesterday?
Wow. I didn't even know you could roll through that fireball.
Yes, that helps a big time actually. Instead of using Abe to fly over them. But
Yeah, and if you catch on fire, you run around like someone with their ass on fire.
save and reset here. Gonna go back to the checkpoint here. And we basically need to clear the 4 corners of this section.
Yeah, basically, when you have more than one dark nut, it's just a pain in the butt. Or a pain in the nut, whatever.
Yeah, that would be appropriate. And these goes. There's only one real one, and once you kill it, they all disappear. But if you get catched by one of them, it goes haywire, crazy. Like they grab you. They lick you basically. They grab you, lick you. You take damage, and once you get
They
unstuck,
always drop you on top of another one. Like it's awful.
it's crazy how bad it is. Once you get picked up once, it's getting stuck in infinite.
We'll see ghosts like that again in a little bit. Yeah, if you have no idea what you're doing, I can see like this entire castle is just a pain in the ass.
Cool.
Very nice.
A little skip you can do here if you stand in the middle. I'm not.
Yeah, you do have to be like, it's weird, you have to be on like the right pixel or something. And then you just do a spin slash and you unlock everything. It's cool.
What the game wants you to do is use the clones, the clone tiles that was like higher on this room, and
Dodge
also,
fireballs.
yeah, it's pretty terrible. Just need one more small key. Ah, I tried to roll through them. Like you can actually roll through the enemy.
Just remember, everyone, what I said about, you know, two dark nuts being a pain in the nut.
Yeah, imagine 3 though.
Imagine 3. That's silly. The game would never do that to you. Yeah. you spin this room, you're just like, I'm going to get hit by that fireball as you light the torches.
You got lucky
So
there.
you need to find the nice. You need to find the real ghost again and get rid of
Yeah.
it before all of the ghosts are on top of you. And then Sabin's gonna get the last key and basically save and reset back out again.
And we're gonna grab like all the 4 small keys here. This allows us to
Get the big key.
big, which leads us.
And when doing a run, always remember to save before you reset.
Small health here, which is pretty nifty. Hey, big key. Alright, so now we have access to the final boss. Final boss is basically like a gauntlet of three. Well, it's not Vadi right away. Like, there's gonna be this bridge here, which has like a chain ball guy, but don't need to kill him.
Buddy's saying here that the ritual to like take the force out of Zelda is almost complete. 3 chimes of the clock, and it'll be too late for her. It'll be curtains for Zelda, whatever. So, yeah.
So basically, bad guys saying bad things.
Yeah, wall's gonna end, stuff like that.
Yeah, I get that.
And this is
And
the
Vadi,
this is the worst battle in the game ever.
yeah, this is basically, so there are basically 4 boss fights in a row, and there are 3 dark nuts because they hate us. And if you are bad at killing these like I am, it takes like 5 minutes just for this one battle. As it turns out, time doesn't flow until you actually leave the room in, you know, Zelda games, so there's no big deal. Zelda's not gonna die.
Like, you will think like the Zelda 1 Dark Nuts are terrible, like play this game and think again.
Also, kinstones are awful. Nice. Yeah, this either, you know, it can go either very fast or very slow, and there's not like any which way in between.
And the rest, like Vadi is actually easier than.
Yeah, Vadi up here, he's like, oh, you got up here. Well, I guess I'll take you out before I take out the light force.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. Like, why would, like, you should be continuing the ritual instead of like teleporting back here, but.
Well, I don't know. I find that Vadi is a very prideful and like just zealous villain. So he obviously thinks he can just take you out. So he doesn't care.
So after 3 cycles, actually use the jar to, like, there's like a buff, like you cannot kill those eyes and use the jar, but as they spawn you can actually get them right away as they spawn, so you don't need to take them out immediately. Kinda like the smoke around them.
Yeah, he does use that like later if you are later in his earlier phases if you're slow, like me, but otherwise, you know, you don't really have to worry about it. Getting on fire though sucks. And then here, well, no. Here he'll like teleport around sometimes, do the Ganon thing, except he's not as cool.
Yeah, he's warping a lot, like he can warp randomly like that.
Yeah, after you defeat him, there's this phase. This whole phase is like you're supposed to reveal the eyes and see what the pattern is with your bow. I think the game basically shows you how to do like what you're supposed to do with these like weird purple blocks by giving you arrows. It is a very like quiet hint, but it is a hint. And then you just hit those, do the mashy or the spin attacks.
Yeah, the reason I'm doing a spin attack, well, the first one doesn't matter, but the second one is actually like, I think it underflows the health.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's something like that, and you basically skip a cycle completely. I think that's how it works. But it's only if you spin attack with 4 links, otherwise it doesn't work.
Oh, I see. No, no.
That's why I'm careful about.
Yeah, he does move faster, so it is kind of hard to hit with the arrow if he's moving. But otherwise, this phase is pretty easy and decidedly pretty much easier than the last phase, or the phase before this one, rather.
Yeah. There we go.
Very nice.
Yeah, Valley 3 is not that bad as well.
So, with Vadi destroyed, we're gonna go save Zelda, GG and stuff. Obviously, there's gotta be an escape sequence.
I forgot the menu there, but that's...
Throwbacks to running out of Ocarina of Time. Last dungeon with Zelda and falling flames of rocks of fire and things. Except it's a lot shorter, and Eslow's just like, oh no, the entrance is blocked. It's not like you have bombs or anything. Let's go another way.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, these two should be able to climb over those rocks, but whatever, it's the sanctuary should be safe. It's a sanctuary. So we go in here, only to find that Vadi is like, yo,
Hold on.
I want that force.
Yeah.
And you're gonna give it to me. Except, I don't know, he should have had his first phase as his last phase, because this phase is so cheesy.
Yeah, you basically cheese it a lot. Like, you basically stand there and you're immune to anything, and he doesn't move at all. And he's gonna sting.
Yeah, he'll stick his hand in the ground. You just kind of wait for it to pop up. You use the Cane of Paki. Get small, go in there and find the eyeball with the iris filled. Beat it up. This is like the this is like the most random part of this boss fight is that, and then later he'll kind of hit you with electricity.
The same thing, gonna stand on the pedestal.
Yeah, and it's weird. He automatically will send his hand out if you're standing on the pedestal.
It's like basically the last phase. They get it right.
Yeah. I don't know. So like he can shoot electricity, or he can do like this. He can shoot electricity out, which will remove your clones if you get hit by it, or do these like weird like energy things with his eyeballs, his extra eyeballs.
And the way I do it is I actually, like, I stay close to him so I can bait the attack. Otherwise he's gonna shoot electricity.
Yeah, unless you're K and you stay close to him and he still does the electricity. I just don't think I get close enough.
GG. Nice run.
Very nice. Very good.
Yo, nice run.
But yeah,
And now you
233.
rescued the princess.
Yep. we rescued a princess a little bit earlier, but we got the hat back. So
Yeah, we rescued the Minish cap. This is the Minish cap, by the way.
yeah,
Oh.
Yeah. So, as low as not the Minish cap, this red hat is the Minish cap. And as we said earlier, it grants wishes. Basically, Zelda here, she's like, oh no, the castle is in ruins and everybody's dead. And Aslow's like, wait, we could fix it. So they use the light force and the power of the Minish cap, which can grant wishes to.
To basically fix everything.
Yes.
kind of like
Neat.
the Triforce, like in some way, like how you touch
Yeah.
the Triforce and you fix everything.
Or the Dragon Balls.
Yeah, I guess that too.
Yeah, it's exactly like the Dragon Balls, except there's just one and a princess.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, Sabin, thanks for inviting me to.
Thank
Hang
you
out,
for
be along.
hanging
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, thank you for the commentary, Kishra. That was good.
Thanks. I literally just learned this run like 3 weeks ago.
And you've been around in the you watched a couple of runs as well in the past.
Yeah.
So.
I've always been into Minish Cap runs, and I was learning any percent before I realized that the Ocarina glitch is kind of difficult, and that I couldn't be asked to learn it right away. But, I saw Sabin doing glitchless runs, and I was like, yo, I want to do that.
And
Yeah.
that's how it started.
Yep.
Damn,
All
nice.
like 3 or 4 months ago, Sabin was practicing for marathons.
Yep, it's a fun game to marathons. Like it's long enough. It's kind of like an RPG, but not really an RPG. 2 hours 30 minutes was short and sweet, and it fits
Yeah.
pretty much everywhere.
Mhm.
I think my PB right now is like just short of 4 hours, so it's a pretty good, short speed run for people who are looking for shorter speed.
A short 4-hour speed run.
It's 4 hours if you're bad like me. If you're cool like TheSabin, it is 2 hours and 33 minutes and 32 seconds.
Yeah,
Gotta start somewhere, right?
I have a lot of experience with 2D Zelda, so not really
Right.
good.
Yeah.
I
Household name TheSabin has a really good time in Link to the Past as well.
128. I have a 36 in Zelda 1, 128 in Zelda 2, right?
Oh, I
Almost
didn't know
done.
you had a Zelda 2 time actually.
Yep, I got, yeah. I actually farmed Pai when he did Momam 3, something like that.
Well done.
Now you just need to learn the oracles and you'll know every 2D